podcast. It is Tuesday, the 8th of April, week 11. Your hosts are Eva,
Ewan,
Sophie. Today we are interviewing Mayor Talbot for our Wallaroo Anchor podcast. In HAS, we have been learning about rules, laws and the local government. We would like to introduce Mayor Talbot to our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
What inspired you to become Mayor of the Copper Coast?
I've been involved with local government for quite some time, and I think that local government is really important because we are the government that is closest to the people. And I just felt that there was an opportunity to make a difference in our community. And I think I was probably guided by my upbringing. My grandfather and my father were both mayors here on the Copper Coast. So being a third generation mayor is something really special to me. And I think from those dinner time table talks that we had all as I was growing up probably led me to this role.
what responsibilities do you have as the Mayor of the Copper Coast?
The Mayor and the elected members are the decision makers for the Copper Coast. They make the decisions on policies and strategic directions that we want to take, what projects that we may want to do and allocating the funding to that. And so as the Mayor, it's really important that I make sure that all of the elected members have all of the information that they require so that they can make good decisions. I also chair the meeting, and so in chairing that meeting, I have to make sure that every elected member has the opportunity to voice their opinion and get their viewpoint heard by the other elected members. And that makes sure that it's really good, fair decision making. I'm also the spokesperson of the council, so once those decisions are made, I'm the person that goes out to the community and relays those messages to the community to make sure that the community know what we're doing.
How does it feel being the Copper Coast Mayor and having to work with the council to run the Copper Coast?
It's a real privilege to be the Copper Coast Mayor. The Copper Coast is a wonderful community. We live in, I'm a little bit biased, but I think we live in one of the best parts of not only South Australia, but I think we live in one of the best parts of Australia. So to be the head of that community as such is a real privilege because it is a wonderful community that is led by wonderful people. I'm often asked the question, what is the best thing about the Copper Coast? And to me, that's easy. It's the people that are here on the Copper Coast that make it such a wonderful place to live. If there's something that needs doing, there's always volunteers that'll put their hand up and help. There's so many people that make this such a wonderful place. So to be the leader of this community is really special. And also, it's really important that I have a really good relationship with the Chief Executive Officer because once the decisions are made, it's his duty to then direct the staff to implement everything that needs to be done. And so working together, I think that we drive the Copper Coast forward to be the wonderful place that it is.
What are you and the council doing to help all of the homeless people in the area?
It's really sad to see so many homeless people in our area. I think as I grew up here, I was always aware that there were some homeless people, but in the last few years, they have become more visible and more obvious, and that's because there are more homeless people through no fault of their own. Some of them are very hard-working people that just because of the lack of housing, they can find nowhere to live. As a council, it's really difficult for us to provide the services they need, the housing that they need. That's really the other tiers of government, the state government and the federal government's role. But for us, I think it's really important that those homeless people have a voice. And so as the Mayor of the Copper Coast, I am their voice and I advocate for them all the time with the state and federal government trying to have them invest in our community in building more homes. We are being heard, and there are initiatives in place where the government are trying to provide more homes here, but it can't happen quickly enough because people are suffering. This morning I was speaking with a community group that were looking at providing a safe space for these people, somewhere what we call a code red and a code blue day. That's when it's extremely hot or extremely cold and they need protection from the elements. So I have been talking with a community group that are looking at providing that space so that they have somewhere safe where they can go and get some relief from the weather. And we have many groups, like the Salvation Army, that will provide food and assistance to those people. But my main role is to be their voice.
Do you have any advice that can inspire people who might want to become mayor one day?
I think if you want to become mayor one day and want to lead this community, there can be no greater honour and it is something really special to do. But you need to have the whole community in mind. There's no point going on to be the mayor for one particular issue, one thing that you want to achieve, one playground that you may want built. You have to look at the whole community and that's, our community encompasses Kadina, Wallaroo, Moonta, Pascaville and everything in between. So all of those areas need what we can provide, and you need to consider all of those areas. But it is a really rewarding role, and I think the best thing is that with all the wonderful people here on our community, I get to go out and meet all of those people and hear their stories, and I'm continually inspired myself by what they offer our community. So my best advice is, if that's what you want to do, follow your dream, because if you don't dream, you don't achieve.
How did it feel on your first day of becoming the mayor?
First day of becoming the mayor was really scary. I was elected the elections were over the weekend, and so Sunday I was announced that I was the mayor, and on the Monday morning I walked into the office, an office that I'd been in many times as a councillor. I'd been a councillor for probably 10 years prior to being mayor. But this time when I walked in, people started asking me to make decisions and, when things were to happen and how things were to happen. And I thought, well, that's not my job, that's someone else's job. And suddenly it dawned on me, that is my job now. I have to make that decision and I can't run away from it. So it was really scary and a little bit daunting that I had to make those decisions. But I think that the staff that we have at the council were very supportive of me, and I had some long-standing staff that had been there for a long time that I soon learnt where I could go to for advice. And, I'm never frightened to say, I don't know, I will find out. Because we can't all know everything, and it's never a shame to say, I don't know that, I will go and find out. And I quickly learnt where and who I could find out that information from.
Thank you, Mayor Talbot, for your wise words of advice. We thank you for taking the time to visit our school and for speaking on our podcast.
Thank you for having me. And it's your voice that we need to listen to, because you are going to be residents in this community a lot longer than I am. And so I can make decisions about what I think is best for you, but I think it's really important that we learn what you want, not what I think you want. So I hope that over time we can forge a relationship with the school and we can get some input from you as to our decision making.
Thanks for listening. Eva out.
Ewan out.
Sophie out.
Mayor Talbot out.